Hi, I'm Mia Cardenas. Welcome to our second show of All Things GISD with Dr. Gibson here. Dr. Gibson, how are you doing this afternoon?
Well, the wind is blowing, but the fog is moving. You know, I've been here for, a month and a day or so, and I've seen 3 days of sunshine. I thought this was paradise.
Oh yeah, this weather is very bipolar here. You'll get to know that. It's very bipolar.
But we're doing good. We're trying to, get this final stretch run for spring break. Are you excited about spring break?
I am actually, but I'll be working the whole week, so I'll get to see some tourists.
And sleep
It'll
late,
be fun.
maybe?
Probably sleep late. Hopefully not, but we'll see. All right, so the first topic today, we're going to talk about how our Tornettes had a competition this weekend.
Yeah, at Moody Gardens. I had gotten an email telling me about it, and I told my wife, because she was a dancer and everything, and we were all excited and planned on going, and then I got another email, same person, kind of trying to look out for me and said, oh, it requires tickets and it's sold out. So we got to cheer from afar, but they did well. They did very well. They brought home some hardware, some medals, some trophies.
The solos, we had our fourth runner-up, Haley Wisner. Shout out to Haley. The officers won single division, socials, and sweepstakes officers. The team sweepstakes JV got first runner-up and varsity first runner-up. And the JV squad came in second place in their competition.
That's
so
amazing.
Shout out to the JV squad.
Absolutely. Well, all the girls, yeah.
Everyone.
Thank you for representing us and, like I said, bringing home hardware. That's what we say when they bring home the trophies and the plaques and the medals. Some
they
hardware.
did great.
And all I know of is where I came from. That should be Tryouts should be coming up soon, right?
Yes, we do have, the Tornettes will be holding tryouts for next year. Tryouts for varsity will be April 26th through April 30th, and JV May 3rd through May 6th. More information will be announced soon, so if you'd like to be a future Tornette, stay on the lookout.
That's right. I'm sure we'll be getting that word back out. We'll probably talk about it again as it gets closer.
We will.
That the people that are watching and tuning in, they can, if it's parents, they can let their daughters know or their child know, or if it's a student, they know where to be and when to be there.
I hear it's a great program. A lot of the girls really learn how to dance, and they do good.
Yeah, we went to the last basketball game was at home. It was the weekend that ice blew in, so it was that Saturday, and we were a little late getting there, but they performed at halftime, did a great job. So they represent us well.
I know. I really miss our pep rallies we used to have. They used to be great. The Tornettes and the cheerleaders would have their dances. It was fun. Maybe we'll get pep rallies again.
Absolutely.
Soon. All right, and also last week there was a Board of Trustees meeting, and the Ball High JROTC was recognized for being awarded as an honor unit with distinction.
Yeah, and I remember reading that. I read that and I introduced them, and I want to say it was like 2008, 2012. So it goes way back, maybe a decade since the last time that happened, and that is not an easy accomplishment. There's so much that goes into it, and the inspection is rigorous. Now that I do know, I've been in a couple of places where we've had ROTC, either Air Force or Army, and Air Force in both times. But there's a lot that goes into that. It's not like they just show up one day and say, oh, well, let's just see how y'all are doing. The students and the leaders so the other night before the board meeting, I came out of my office and there they were, and it was impressive because they were full Class A's.
Yes.
They're dressed up and they were critiquing each other. You make sure that top your top button. And it was funny because the young man who said that to the student said, just the other one, she said, your top button too. So they had to hold each other accountable. But their shoes are shine. They everything. They just do such a great job. But I can't say enough. That is a very tedious thing, and you have to pay attention to details. So that's a great program that we have here at Ball High School. And I know they get to, they present the colors a lot and things like that. I'm still learning that. I hope that they get to go like to, Astros games, Rockets games, whatever it might be, and present colors there before the national anthem.
I know a lot of them, I know a few people who are in JROTC, a lot of them were sad about not being able to march for Mardi Gras. I
know in the previous districts for me that they are incredible at giving back. And they're supposed to have so many service hours and anything not just related to the school district. There were community events, and they needed people maybe to hand out water or to help move water from this location to this location, or do whatever it is. And so I know there's a lot of hours away from school that goes into that. And so hats off to them for everything they're doing. But yeah, to get the highest honor, that's top notch.
Yeah, I hear less than 10% of all JROTC units achieve this level of standard after inspection from the 5th grade. So, less than 10%.
In the nation. In the nation, not just in our area.
Yep.
So that's to be in the top 10%. That's at anything. That's amazing.
Big accomplishment. And I also noticed that last week's meeting, did y'all talk to the SEL program? There was a. Let me see if I get it right.
Social emotional
learning, yeah.
Learning, yes.
SEL,
There were several students that shared a testimonial. They told how it has affected them and how it's been a positive thing for them. And I think there was 3, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been 4 that just told the board. And that is so important, because I send emails to the board trying to keep them updated with what's going on in the district, and that's always, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's ugly, but they need to hear things from me. But for them, they hear about programs that we have, but to hear testimonials, they're in the business of students, just like I am. They want to see what is it that our students are doing. So that's impressive for them to hear from a student. This is what it's doing for me, and this is changing my life, and this is making me a better person. This is making me stronger in whatever area that it might be. So that's good. And the school board, they work a lot of hours. You say, well, a lot, not 40 hours a week, but they give their time. It might be 10, 12 hours a month. They don't get paid. Usually they don't even get a thank you. They get the people's complaints, and so that's what they get to field a lot of the times. So to see the students and to see what they're doing, because we talk about a lot, student achievement. For them to be able to see that, in student performance, to see how our students are performing and what they're achieving, that was good to hear them and what they were doing. So that was a bright spot.
Personally, I can relate, because I know actually, I don't know what to call it, maybe he's like an instructor, a teacher with the SEL program, Mr. Ray. Shout out to Mr. Ray if he's watching this.
And that's just their shout out.
Yep.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's that. And so that's how they give their where we do this. We talked about this a little bit last week when we were visiting. I told you personally how it just breaks my heart for like our juniors and our seniors. And I even kind of picked your brain a little bit about during this pandemic, how do you stay up with your friends? And of course there's social media, and there's, all the different things that, that's out there. But this is affecting a lot of people.
It is.
And students, they're not getting what they're used to getting. And, a lot of students already, they come from difficult circumstances, and this doesn't help. And to have a program that will help them with the emotional and part of it and things like that, I keep hearing that in our entire country, the depression, the challenges and everything that goes with that. So, I'm thankful that we have a program that helps our students and our adults. They do a thing on Thursdays, I believe it is, where they just chat. It's Zoom, and they chat back and forth like, when this happens, how do you decompress? And then, they just talk through the process. I'm usually busy, but Amy Bly, my administrative assistant, she's usually on the call and or on the Zoom, and I'll holler out things just for fun. But it's a great program that we have for our employees and for our students.
Mr. Ray, I gave a shout out to. He actually taught a resilience class in ways you can become more resilient in specific situations, and I think personally that helped me a lot, because it taught me some things that I didn't know before. I was like, this can help me be more resilient if I do this.
Yeah, there's an old saying, children are resilient, and for the most part they are. They don't have a choice many times. They overcome, but this helps them cope and how can I better overcome whatever circumstances that they have in their life? So I'm glad you brought that up the way you did. It's true.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now let's get into sports. We have our Tours baseball was 2-3 this weekend at a tournament hosted here in Galveston, actually. And we played against some of the top-notch teams in the area.
That is true.
And we came real close.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting. On Thursday, yeah, I think we played at like 10 or 10:30, and I broke away, went and picked up my wife, and you know, I was wearing we were wearing a suit that day, and man, we went up there, and I had to put on a cover up because it was kind of cold, and Diane Polsing had give Tammy, my wife, a little. This is a baseball survival kit. That's what it was, and it had like blankets and umbrellas and everything, and. We go and we get out of the expedition, and she goes, "Oh, it's cold." I said, "Well, where's your basket?" Or your, you know, it wasn't a basket, but in a tote. And she went, "Oh my goodness!" But it was a little cold that day. And then so we played Barbers Hill, and they are a top team in our area every year. But so are the Tours. Let me just say that I am so impressed with the job Coach Farrell does. I mean, when the games are over, they're out there practicing more and getting work in, and he runs such a top-notch program. But the game is over. I go and that, you know, to me that's work. I want to be where the kids are, where the students are. So I watched for about 4 innings and went back and did some things. And we went back that night, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting because that was the first night of the fog, and we were watching. So I was sitting near Coach Fortune, and we were watching one of the condominiums or some town, and you could see at first you could see the roof, you know, and then you couldn't see the top through. This is in the morning. So it was in the morning, so it gets worse throughout the day. So you know how it is. You've been here your whole life. As the sun goes down, it gets a little worse and a little worse, and a little worse. Yes. So we came back out for the game before us. It was Clear Creek and Summer Creek. They're playing, and I think the bases were loaded. I was down there talking to some of our players and trying to get to know them and let them get to know me. And we walked around. I think I went by Mr. Dudas, and all of a sudden fly ball to right field, and right field was just doing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's kind of like going in circles, and it hits way over there, and they said, that's it, ball game. So we didn't get to play Thursday night. I'm not sure how they were able to make it up, but they got a lot of games in, which is good for our students. I know they had one game that was 2-1. That was a real close game, and so, but, you know, I was told, I went to a Rotary Club meeting back in January. I was invited to go, and they were talking about Galveston College has a baseball and a softball tournament. And the coaches were talking about it, kind of promoting it, and they were talking about, you know, and they said, we don't have any problem getting teams to come here. People love coming to the island. The food's great. The weather's usually great. It's a cold, windy day right now. As I'm saying that, we can look outside and see the dark clouds in the north wind.
Very gloomy.
Yeah, it's a gloomy day. And but I think teams like coming down here. You know, we have the turf on the infield, so they know they're probably not going to get rained out. And so there was top level competition. And I also know that they have a big game tomorrow night against Friendswood. I think it's 6 o'clock. I think it's when the game starts. And they have a shortstop. I haven't seen him, but they say he'll be one of the top players drafted this year as a high school senior.
Wow.
In fact, I've heard that over half the Major League Baseball teams will have a scout there to watch him tomorrow night. So
that's impressive.
That is, yeah. And
Congrats.
There was a couple the other day. The shortstop from Barbers Hill, they said he'll be possibly drafted as well. I think he's committed to TCU. There was Minnesota Twins and a few other teams are out there, but yeah, they were able to get the games in. The days are okay, and then at night when the fog rolls in, I guess they kind of just do what they can do to get it in. And fortunately, you also have Galveston College's stadium, which is shared with the city, I think, right there. So during the day, they could double up and play, multiple games at one time. But yeah, they got it in, and these games are just to let the kids get experience, let our young men get experience, and then district will start tomorrow. I think Friendswood is in there. They're in our district, so it's already time. So
yep.
They'll be ready. I have a lot of confidence. Like I said, I've really enjoyed getting to know Coach Farrell, and the program he runs, it is top. It is top notch.
Yeah. Mr. Judas actually has created a program. It's called Adopt a Player. It's created several years ago for the varsity players, but now the program's become so popular that it's actually expanded it's probably expanding to the JV team as well.
So what do you do? What do we do to adopt a player? What does all of that entail?
The adopt a player, a teacher will adopt a student, a baseball player, of course, and they'll bring them, like care packages. You got snacks, Gatorades, anything they might like just to pump them up for the game.
Get them ready.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those days. That is good. Those Mr. Good bars and Three Musketeers and things like that. Little Powerade, Gatorade. That's hats off to the leader, Mr. Dudas.
Yes, that's a nice program. And also, like you were saying, the baseball varsity opens district play at home tomorrow at 6 against Friendswood.
Yep, they've got that shortstop. I keep hearing about him. I'm looking forward. I hope we don't have to bundle up. I just want to, baseball is supposed to be that warm weather sport. So I don't know what it's supposed to be like as this fog, starts hopefully continuing to blow out of here. But
hopefully
maybe it'll be a pretty day and they can go out there, and I know they're going to be ready to play.
Yes.
I have no doubt that the Golden Tours will be ready to play tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
They will be. On to the Lady Tours golf team. They participated in the rain last week, actually. That's crazy.
And they won.
They did very well, yes.
Yeah, over in...
Their season record is actually 16-17.
They played over in Texas City, Bayou, I forget the name of the course. I played it once several years ago. And then we also had a young lady that finished first in her division there. So they're representing as well. I like to get out there and watch them play and walk around a little bit and see them and get to know them. But yeah, they won that. They won the, I guess it's Texas City's tournament. I think that's right, if I'm not mistaken. I got word on it, but
the Varsity Winter Classic.
Varsity Winter Classic. Yeah, it was Winter Classic today, and windy. It'd be the windy Winter Classic.
And the guys as well. Don't worry, we didn't forget about you. They also won last week's Texas City Bayou Scramble by shooting a score of 68.
Wow.
And their season record stands at 15-5.
So they're advanced in what they're doing. Yeah, so I had told, this is kind of a funny story. When I was named lone finalist back in December, the I-45 Now, does that sound right? I-45 Now, he called me. We did a little Zoom interview and everything, and I told him, what I like to do from time to time is just be a student for a day and go and pick up a schedule and go to class as I was a student to really see what's going on in my schools. And I mentioned that, I enjoy golfing, and so I think he's a counselor here, if I'm not mistaken. He sent me an email. He said, what you need to do is pick up the schedule of a student who's also a golfer, and then you can go to golf practice with him. And I was like, wow, that is really good thinking right there. I can get several things in that way. I'm just doing my job, just going out there, seeing how the student, what's life like for a student of Ball High School. But yeah, when they said, I'd rather do that than go to the dance class. I can't lie. In fact, it might be equally as unimpressive or equully embarrassing on my part. More than likely, though, the dancing would be.
They'll work you too.
Yeah,
that's your grade.
Funny story. First time I ever did that, it was like analytic geometry or a calculus, and that's just the schedule I got. And I went in, and they were taking a test that day.
Oh.
And math is not really my forte. I can do the basic math, 2 plus 2, 3 minus 1. I can do all that, and multiplication, division, a little bit of algebra. But man, that stuff, I made like a 16 on that test. It was, they had a good time grading my test. So that has blown up a few times. But I enjoy doing it, seeing what you guys do and how we can make our schools better.
Yeah. And also, word has it that an alligator actually walked onto the green course during the tournament.
Really?
Yes, an alligator.
Now, that would be cool.
I asked one of our teachers, Mr. Cox, he was like, yeah, it just slowly came out of the water. I guess it was cold. I was like, that's hilarious.
So the girls didn't want to go pet it or anything?
Oh, no.
You wonder if Dickinson was there. They'd be used to that. They're the Gators.
The Gators.
Right? Yeah, they should be used to that. They know exactly what to do. They see it every day.
Yeah. And also, water polo is having tryouts this week if anyone is interested.
So that means, have the horses come in?
I'm not sure. Have you ever played water polo? Any water sports?
Oh, water polo. So,
water
but
polo.
The horses have to swim?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's the students that swim.
Students swim. The polo, just regular polo when they ride the horses. Okay, so water polo has nothing to do with the horses.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, all right. Now, I've seen it. It's really kind of, it's a lot of action. I mean, balls going all over the place, and it's kind of like soccer in the water, except, you catch it and throw it. And I think if you drown them, it's illegal or something. You push them under to get the ball. I don't think you can do that. So anyway, the tryouts are this week?
This week, yes. I also heard you can't actually touch the pool floor.
You're not supposed to, but I think our pool you have to, because one end is shallower.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's one of the reasons they were looking at maybe a natatorium in the bond was going to happen in May, and hopefully it'll happen maybe in November, but I know that was one of the reasons. So yeah, you're not supposed to touch the shallow end, and so man, can you imagine? Swimming is exhausting. That's the sport you work every muscle in your body, and if you really want to, there's not a lot of that in marathon running. I just think would be that would be exhausting. I know the days when I was a teenager when I'd go swimming for 2 or 3 hours. You're out in the sun, you're swimming, and I just go home. Why am I so tired? Well, you were doing that all day. But can you imagine for a couple of hours you're treading water, swimming to get to the ball, catching, throwing? I mean, it's
my legs would be on fire.
No doubt, no doubt. It's like, give me a raft and let me sit down here.
Last summer I was actually a lifeguard at Slitterbond. I'm gonna do it again this summer because it's fun. I actually don't mind swimming. Sometimes we do have to jump in and save someone because, oh my gosh, have you been to Slitterbond here?
I have not. But I have 2 grandchildren that have season pass.
Awesome. You should come this summer and bring your grandchildren.
I'm sure they'll be there.
That's a fun place.
They'll be there with Gammy. Granddad will be working probably. So
I'll be watching the water while they're there.
I'll
make
show
sure
you their
they're
picture
safe.
where you can make sure they're okay. They swim good. They just sold their house and had a pool, so they could they could jump in and swim at any given time, and try to put Granddad under too. That happens a lot.
All right. So if anybody wants to find out any updated info on athletics, you can go to our GISD website and find any information there. If you're concerned, that's that for sports. And we're going to talk back on our UIL one-act play. Those rehearsals will continue.
And so, are you in one-act play?
Not me, but we do have Logan, one of my hosts, who also does Good Morning Ball High. He's actually involved in that.
He told us that when we got off air last week. So when I was coming out, I told you a story about Maya, not Mia.
Yes.
So I don't know Maya's last name. Maya, if you're tuning in, I want you to know I'm proud of it because I was told that she's a dual credit student at Galveston Ball, and that she is she's a student body president, I think, at Galveston Ball. At Galveston College, not Galveston. She might be president here too. That'd be a dual role.
That would.
Dual credit, dual role. But they said that she is the lead in the one-act play. So, I want to meet you. I'm impressed with you. So I want to meet you and see who you are and just tell you how proud I am of what you do. But yeah, so I had heard that. They had said it was you.
Oh, no.
No, somebody came up to me because we were talking about it after the board meeting because it got brought up. And then I don't know, somehow it got brought to my attention. And then Billy Rudolph, who's our communications officer, he said, that's your co-host. And I said, my co-host is Mia. And then I got upset because I thought, have I been saying it wrong the whole time? So then he came back a day or two later. He said, okay, I was wrong. It's not your co-host. She's not the student body president at Galveston College. But anyway, that'd be something on your resume. I was the student body president at Galveston College when I was a student at Galveston Ball.
That's awesome.
That really is. It's impressive. So
congrats, Maya.
Yes, I understand. A lot of dual credit at night and also one-act play. I mean, I don't know when you're sleeping or how
busy.
much. Yeah, I want to meet this young lady. So make that happen.
We'll do. And we also will have Logan on our next show.
Logan, yes.
Logan will be on our next show.
Logan is being groomed, I think, to lead this next year when we continue to talk about all things GISD. And he's pretty excited about it.
He is, yeah.
And he can tell us more about it. We ought to have Maya and Logan. And talk some one-act play.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'll
next
sit
show.
way over there. Yeah.
And our UIL film, you remember the one that we
Yes,
released?
we were talking about. We were waiting. The last time we shot this, we were waiting to see how they did.
So we didn't advance to round 2, but we did place number 5 out of 11 in our division. So that's awesome.
Well, and so when I was talking to Mr. Dudas, I asked him, I said, did we ever find out? Because actually it was on Wednesday, because I wanted to be able to report to the board, if they were advancing or whatever. And he said, but they got so excited, they're already brainstorming and getting ready for next year. So, good things coming out of the disappointment.
Mm-hmm. That was also one of the first times we've placed, so that was an accomplishment.
Heading in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I came in a while ago, you were already in here kind of setting things up, and Mr. Dudas showed me down at Burnett, he had students that were recording things, getting ready for, making kind of announcement and everything. I said, you got a little entrepreneurship going here. Yeah, this is my minor league. This is my AAA or my AA. So getting them interested now. I can't wait to see how this continues just to take off and see things happen.
The kids at Burnett, they're great. They're great kids. And they're actually pretty good, and they're all, kids, they're busy, running around reading books, but whenever we need them to record their little segments, they're sitting down and they're ready to do it.
Ready to roll. Did you go to Burnett?
Oh, I went to Parker Elementary.
Parker. I was there today, walking around, just looking at the kiddos, seeing how they're doing. Now, I'm not a gotcha guy. I just love going and seeing the kids. It energizes me. It reminds me, this is why I do what I do. This is why that alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning, and that we try to make a difference for them. So I try to get out there every day and go see a couple of campuses. I had planned on going there and then also to collegiate, there, Oppie, and then to collegiate, but I got away a little bit late, so maybe I can get by to collegiate and check on those students tomorrow. They're probably getting ready for some junior high UIL as well as probably track season and some things.
Oh, yeah, track.
Yeah, getting ready.
Got to. All right, so back to the students giving testimonials. We actually had a video we worked on with the SEL program, the social and emotional learning, that explains, we have COVID restrictions, we have the arrows in the hallway. We kind of made like a mini video commercial demonstrating what we do. And we're editing it now.
So it'll be out when it'll be out in the next week or so, I'm guessing?
Maybe the next week or two or so.
Right. And then they'll be viewed on Channel 17 or go to the website or?
Yes, Channel 17 will be getting opened. You can watch it on Xfinity or Comcast. That will be coming soon.
I have Xfinity.
You do?
Yeah.
You can access Channel 17. I have AT&T. I can't watch it.
So yeah, we finally got moved in, closed on our house and moved in, and then my son-in-law came and hooked up Xfinity, but I have yet to figure it. He used to have it, and I'd go to his house and get the remote control and just say Channel 17 GISD or whatever.
Yeah, you can talk into the remote.
Yeah, but it won't recognize my voice. He didn't say it. I know he did not, but it's okay. I still love it. So yeah, we'll be okay.
We're going to get a couple shout outs in really fast. We got a shout out to the Sand Star Services for donating $5,000 to the CTE department to upgrade our electrical equipment in the construction technology lab.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys. And another shout out to all the students in the district that participated in the virtual 2021 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo School Art Competition. Many won awards and in numerous categories. So
that's one of those things that we talked about, how it's exciting, and congratulations, shout out, we're proud of you, but it's not quite the same during COVID, and the people talk about the rodeo. My favorite part, I don't go every year. Sometimes I've been a few years, is when they got to chase down the little calves, rope, shows what I don't know, put the rope around them, or a harness around them, and drag them back into the big square and everything, and those are things that students they've missed out. Last year, when everything got shut down, that was going on, and so that was the big debate. Do we finish that? And at first they said they were, and they said nope, that's it, shut it down, come home. And what people don't realize is there's a lot of scholarship money involved in the livestock show. There's not only one in Houston, but there's one in San Antonio. There's one in Fort Worth. Those are probably the three biggest ones, and there was just a lot of students that were hoping to win that scholarship money last year that didn't get to didn't get to win it. So it's, to me, with my learning style and what I see, the virtual would be more. It's just, I don't know. I'm ready for our world to get normal again, and let you guys do what y'all do, which is shine brightly.
I know this is the second year the rodeo was canceled.
Right. But, and talk about social, emotional learning and that effect. But it just affects the economy. I forget how many, is it in the billions or millions what it does to the economy in the greater Houston area?
Wow.
Every year that's gone, that's lost. And, I know that last year when COVID hit and everybody was kind of on lockdown, I guess that had to be kind of a weird time for the island. Obviously I wasn't here yet, but, the spring is such an active time, and spring break and the summers, and I guess they started lifting some of those restrictions during the summer. But if you told me a while ago that, you work at the Pleasure Pier, so that probably affected you a little bit.
It did. We still wear masks and stuff. I guess because it's outside, some of the guests don't have to wear masks, which is fine. It really doesn't bother me much. It's okay. But I wish, we sanitize everything. See, it's kind of weird how you think about it. You're like, before all of this COVID stuff, we did sanitize every ride and every seat. But maybe we should have been. It makes you think about stuff.
Oh, our world will be different. The way that we look at things, and people, washing their hands more often and being careful and thinking about those things. And I know I think it's yesterday evening, something was on TV. We were unpacking boxes, and or maybe it's yesterday morning, and Dr. Fauci, he said, I heard him say it by hopefully midsummer we will be back to where we were. That, I think there's another strand of drug, the COVID shot that's come out. And so I think Johnson & Johnson is putting this one out, and so we're hopefully we're turning the corner, because you think about it. It's been a year. It was in spring break of 2020.
We're almost there.
Almost a year of not normal. So we'll get there. Yes. We'll get there.
I'll be happy to be back.
Me too. Me too.
Back to the rodeo, though. I think it's great that they're involving the students.
Absolutely.
It may be virtual, but I mean.
But they're doing the best they can with the rules and restrictions that they have. So thank y'all for doing that.
Yes.
And thanks to our students that participate and represent.
And one more big shout out to the Galveston Educational Foundation for all of their recent grants to the teachers on our campus.
Yeah, I was in on a few of them. Miss Polzing did a few. Of course, they're virtual. Usually they get the band together and they play coming down the hall, and they have the cheerleaders and the tornettes, and there's, streamers and balloons. And so
I remember that.
Yeah, so they didn't do that. But so Miss Polzin said, hey, come to my office. So I go down there, and they put this hat on me, and we were trying to do it like Mardi Gras and everything, because, there's going to be a class taught, I always call him Mr. City Council, Coach Schuster, I'm going to say his name wrong.
Schuster?
Coach Schuster. Sorry, Coach, Mr. City Council. He is going to teach a class next year, the history of Galveston.
Yes.
Which is really exciting, because he got a grant for that, and that was one of the ones that we did. And it was pretty fun. It was not fun. It was great. I don't remember what day of the week that was, but I was invited to go to a Super Bowl get-together, a few people, and I met someone, and I said he was in charge of tourism for the city of Galveston, maybe the president of the, I'm not sure, but he worked for the city in the tourism department. And I asked him, I said, what could we do as a school district to help? Are there opportunities for our students, when they graduate or they're still in school? And he had said just 2 or 3 days before that, we need people who can lead tours on the history of Galveston, the summer when tourists come in. And I was like, wow. I called him that same day, and I said, hey, a year from now, we're going to have some people that are going to be ready to go. So that would be opportunities for students to have some employment, summer employment, or maybe while they're in college, even if they want to stay here and go to GC. So that's huge. I love that. But yeah, we were able to give. I was in on another one for the theater teacher at Austin. Got some costumes and makeup and things like that, and so she was pretty excited.
Wow.
Yeah, people don't realize. We talked about sportsmen. They go, that's no big deal. They order new uniforms every few years for each program and everything else. But you got to redo one-act play every year. You don't do the same show twice.
Yep.
Not back-to-back years. So there's always costumes and there's set designs and there's part of the set and so a lot goes into that.
A lot does. It's awesome though about Coach Schuster. It's one of our own teachers here teaching about Galveston.
Yeah, the other night I told you about on Thursday the baseball game got fogged out, right? And so Tammy and I jump over here. We know they're playing soccer, and he comes walking up. I don't know if he had been. That man is always either going to a ball game or going to city council or going to a meeting. And so I don't know what he was doing that night. But he was in jeans and a jacket, a sports coat, and everything. And we were just laughing and talking. I learned because we were talking about we had a golf cart in my family, my wife and I did, and we take our dogs for a ride where we moved from in Marshall. We'd go around in our little community, and we didn't realize here that's just kind of a way of life. Everybody gets in their golf cart and goes. But where we live, you'd have to go down the feeder road to get to 61st Street to go to the seawall. And he told me, he said, if you have a golf cart, you can either be on the west side of 61st or the east side of 61st, and you can't do both. And he was explaining all of that. It's like, now if this is all things GISD, he would be all things Galveston, because that man knows it. And I tell you what, getting around, it's exciting to be around him because he loves Galveston, so much. So So yeah, he's going to be teaching that class. I look forward to sitting in on that to learn a little more about the island.
I wish I was an underclassman, or I wish I was not a senior and leaving, because I would take it.
Do you want to go back in time? You want to take a few more classes? I mean, you can work on in college it's called getting a master's. You get a master's in high school studies or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah, super senior. Logan, if you're watching this, yeah, she's trying to bump you next year to be the host.
Back to the programming on Channel 17. It will be there soon. Don't worry, Mr. Dudas has got it. It's coming. Knowing him, we are in for great things. So the TV provider, it will be Comcast or Xfinity. If you have either of those, be ready. Channel 17. That's where we'll be programming. All right, that concludes today's show. Thank you for watching our second episode. And we're going to say it together.
Well, but enjoy spring break. We will not shoot another one before spring break, which is just 2 weeks from today. Everybody will be on spring break. Guys, you've earned it. Teachers, you've earned it. Students, you've earned it. Parents, you've earned it. So enjoy it. Have fun.
Yes, we will come back this time from spring break.
We will come back this time. That is good point.
We will come back.
Well said. That's why she's the host, not the guest.
All righty, well, thank you for watching our second episode of All Things GISD.